What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? It is the season finale of P Valley, and it is murder night. So, we start this episode off. We have Haley in the Paradise Room with Montavious, and he like, where my money at? And we find out a few things. Haley was a corporate accountant. Montavious is the guy that she was stealing the money from. We find out as the episode goes on, we find out they were not married, but they were together. He wanted her to be his wife. She could have been his wife. She was like, was that, you could have been the one. Her daughter is not his, is what I got. But he basically, took care of her and helped raise her. And she's in the Paradise Room, hoping that somebody gonna come and save her, honey. But it's a lot going on, and it's not business as usual at the Pink, because normally certain things would be in place, and they would be watching the monitor, and they'd be able to see that something wasn't right. But there was a lot going on. Let's keep talking about it. So we got a little murder in Mississippi going on stage, right? We got the record exec there, and he there supposed to be looking at murder, but he is totally caught up with Mercedes, and he was like, "Yeah, I see a star, right?" But in his mind, Mercedes is the star. Like, that's who he's looking for. That's who he's looking at. And they are killing it. I mean, they killing it. DJ Never Scared got his track. He got his little intro and everything. It's real nice. Like, if you, the trap music is your thing, they was doing their thing. So they end up going to the VIP. Now, while all of this is going on, outside, the line is still down the block and around the corner, because everybody heard it's the last night of the Pink. Everybody and their cousin coming through to pay their respects to the Pink, right? And Diamond at the door collecting all kinds of weapons, right? Big L then took the container of weapons and took it back to the office, because Diamond was like, dude said, he said, I normally would try to bring my weapon in, but I had the Uber up here. Like, I can't leave my gun in the Uber. Diamond told him to come back and get it later. So Big L was like, let me take this to the office, because there's way too much going on. Now, Uncle Clifford is showing his slip a little bit. He's showing his slip a little bit when it comes to murder. Murder took off his jacket, threw it in the crowd. He done ripped the jacket from one of the girls, talking about something, no, you won't. Get your paws off of it. He's showing his slip a little bit. We're going to get to that. So, while all this is going on, Mercedes is in the VIP room with Coach. And she's letting Coach know, of course he's saying, all that good stuff. And she said, you know what, Coach, you always really been there for me. She said, how about, how about $10,000? And he was like, I ain't never paid that much. Like, what you? She said, no, like for an investment. Like, I lost my money, a couple of weeks back, but I got half of it back. I need the other half. Now, mind you, and I forgot to say this in my review last week, Mercedes, the girl offered you the money, and she talking about something. No, I did $10,000 worth of work. I'm gonna get my $10,000. The girl offered you the money to get your gym back. So you won't take the money from her that you helped her hustle, but you'll take the money from him. Like, Mercedes, your mind, I don't understand people. Sometimes, it's a blessing. God is blessing you. I mean, I shouldn't have said God is blessing you, but it was a blessing. Like, she was trying to bless you with the rest of the money for your gym. You wouldn't take it from her, but you were going to take it anyway. So basically, Coach was like, well, listen, I tell you what. If you become my concubine, I'll go ahead and give you that $10,000. Like, that's what I've been trying to get from you all along. And all you had to do was tell me, like I put you up in the condo and the box seats for the game and all that good stuff. I mean, of course, I need a key to the condo so I can come and go as I please, She was like, and what about your wife? He was like, she know, we good. So Mercedes was like, your generosity is sounding real expensive right about now. Let me think about it. So Murder done come off the stage and they going into the VIP. Now, Mississippi's boyfriend is trying to get her attention, and she tries to get away, but the exec is like, nah, let me, y'all the new couple on World Star. I need to talk to both of y'all. Come on in the VIP. So Mississippi sort of has to go, for the purposes of what her and Lil Murder trying to do. So they in VIP, and dude is just talking about all this shit about, I can get you a real producer. Murder was like, my producer, DJ Never Scared is my producer. He was like, that little kid, like, come on, y'all probably in his mama basement with the egg cartons on the wall. Like, stop playing. Like, I'm gonna get you in a real studio with some real producers. Then he said, and I'm gonna get you a real manager. Well, this Lil Murder's manager sitting right there. He was like, dude, what? He's like, oh, the record exec was like, oh, no disrespect. I'm just saying, for me to get you what you need, you gotta be, I'm sorry, y'all. For me to get you what you need, you gotta be ready. You gotta da-da-da-da-da. Then, and he keeps talking about this 360 deal now. We all know that a 360 deal is not. So here come Uncle Clifford. He come up in the VIP, and he puts his hand on Lil Murder's shoulder. Now, of course, Mississippi and the manager know what's up. But the record exec is like, and Murder basically dismisses Uncle Clifford. He dismisses him, real nasty like. So Uncle Clifford leaves or whatever, and as soon as he leaves, the record exec starts talking shit about Uncle Clifford. Oh, damn. Niggas don't know whether they want to be a man or a woman, and Lil Murder just sitting there not saying nothing. But Mississippi speaks up. She was like, you're not going to talk about my boss like that. Like, you might think he's soft, but basically he'll whoop all y'all's ass up in here. Like, don't get it twisted. And he was like, oh, my bad. So we got that going on. So Uncle Clifford gets his feelings hurt. He goes up into the back. He in his feelings a little bit. Which is, it's understandable, whatever. Big L is in the office. He sees the container full of weapons. Uncle Clifford is like, what the hell is all of this? Now, they see that Autumn, aka Haley, is in the Paradise Room topless. But everybody's busy right now. Like, Uncle Clifford is busy. Diamond still got the line of people out the door. He can't go. Big L, he done got called away. Duffy done showed up with the truck full of drugs. Remember, he made that side deal with Duffy, so he out back with the drugs. So nobody can go take care of Haley. And Uncle Clifford said he was going to handle it, but then he got caught up doing stuff, I guess, like running the club. Now, Lil Shorty, y'all remember the little dude that was wearing the ankle bracelet for Mercedes' friend? He coming to the club. He got this fake ass ID. And Diamond know good and damn well that this little boy ain't supposed to be up in the strip club. But Diamond was like, you know what the hell, it's the last night, boy. Go on in there and stay in school. But he really had a message for Mercedes. He went straight to the back looking for Mercedes. And he took Mercedes. He said, your boy was like, give you this message, you'll know what to do. And she was like, boy, what are you doing in here? Like, you get your little ass out of here. He was like, listen, I just got to bring you a message. She said, why he ain't bring it himself? Basically, he done put his ankle bracelet on the wrong person. He done got caught up his ass back in the county jail, child. So she looks at the flyer, and she sees who it is. She sees it's Haley, and, it's Haley's real name, and that's a missing flyer. But she also recognizes the guy. He's cropped out of the picture, but his arm is around her, and he's got that ring. And she remembered the ring from Montavious when she was trying to get a lap dance off of him, last week. So she that's what she told Coach. Your generosity is a little too expensive for me right now. Let me think about it. She takes off running to Uncle Clifford because she knows that Haley is in trouble. She knows Haley's in that Paradise Room and she's in trouble. So she goes running off with Uncle Clifford. Uncle Clifford ain't in the office because that's when Uncle Clifford had gone off to do whatever the hell Uncle Clifford had gone off to do. Diamond's out front. Big L's in the back with the drugs. Everybody is busy. It's so much going on. So Mercedes decides, okay, I got to get in that room. So she gets a bottle and she knocks on the door. She said, bottle service. And he was like, nah, we good. She was like, well, bottle service come with the Paradise Room. She was like, and an extra side of titties. That's what I'm here for. So she works her way into the room. And, Haley looks at her. They giving each other the side. They having a whole silent conversation. But I'm sure Haley was like, if you don't get your ass out of here, like, why are you here? And they dancing, While Big L was looking, when he was looking at her at the beginning, he was like, light-skinned girls, no, they ain't got to work hard. Because, Haley ain't never been doing a whole lot. And even Montavious was like, listen. And he said something about the lessons he got her. So, it sounds like she used to take, like, lessons, like pole dance lessons or something like that. And he said, you ought to be able to twerk better than that. But he gets to the basically he's trying to get rid of Mercedes. And so he was like, my glass is empty. She was like, you still got a whole bottle there. And he ends up pouring the bottle on the floor, talking about some oops. So she was like, okay, well, what would you like me to replace it with? Because he's just trying to get her ass out of there. So he was like, basically, I really don't care what you replace it with. Like, leave me alone. Let me get my money for what I pay for. And she said, well, the floor looking real empty. Like, you supposed to have dollars all over this floor the way, you've been back here long enough that she's supposed to be paid right now. He pulls out a bankroll out his pockets and he gives it to Mercedes, basically like, bitch, get up out of here. So that's when Mercedes was like, listen, if Haley wants me to leave, then I'll leave. And that was her way of letting Mercedes know that she knew what's up. And letting him know that she know what's up. So that's when Haley was like, listen, Mercedes, you gotta go. Like, you gotta go. So, she was like, all right, fine, I'll go. So she picks the bottle up, but she ends up breaking the bottle and trying to cut trying to cut him with the bottle, but he's able to get the best of her and ends up having the bottle to Mercedes' neck, and he tells Haley, where's my money? And Haley had told him at first that the money was in the bank. He was like, for real? Like, you got $250,000, because that's how much she ended up taking out the account. He was like, you got $250,000 out the bank? And she was like, yeah. He was like, and they thought you made that kind of money dancing at this little hole in the wall. She was like, they ain't know me. They just knew I was new in town. They didn't know whether I've been dancing up and down the coastline. They didn't know where that money came from. But he ain't believe that money was in the bank a bit more than, the man in the moon. A couple of other things. Let me rewind for a second. A couple of other things we learned in her conversation with him. It was another guy that helped her set these accounts up, where she was stealing the money from him. And he ended up killing him. Then we found out that he is a part of some sort of like secret gang organization. And Haley told him, Haley was like, we could have been, happily married and moving on. She was like, if you love me as much as you loved your little gang. And he was like, he said the name, I should have wrote it down. But and that's what the ring, the symbol in the ring was his gang symbol. And he told her, he was like, listen, that's my conglomerate. You know what I'm saying? We ride or die. That's how we do. And we also found out that, oh shoot, it was something else. That he was in a gang, they weren't married. She was a corporate accountant. Oh, he also said something about the guy that helped her set her accounts up. He killed him, and he said, listen, he was a soldier, because it was his dying breath that he told me. He only gave me the information on one account. He only told me about one account. And he said, and I go into that one account and look at what I found, a $10,000 transfer to Chuckalisa. And the reason why that's important, because what that says to me is Haley has access to a whole lot more money that he only knew about the one account, but she must have been either pulling money out of multiple accounts, or she still has multiple accounts that she can get money out of. That's important later. Okay, well, it is what it is. Anyway, that's what I took away from that. Y'all can tell me something different. So, now while all of this is going on inside the Paradise Room, Uncle Clifford, like I said, he done got his feelings hurt, and he done went in the back, and here come Lil Murder to come and talk to him, and basically come to apologize. And Uncle Clifford was like, see, I told you this shit. You're the one that tried to turn this into more than what it was. You're the one that said you didn't want to be sucking and fucking in the dark all the time. And when you had the opportunity to claim it, you didn't. So don't come in here with that bullshit. He was like, you Lil Murder now. And that's cool. He said, LaMarcus was the person that I liked. LaMarcus was the one I got to know. And when LaMarcus want to come back around, he know where to find me. But until then, you can get your ass up out of here. And of course, he was in his feelings, but that's what Uncle Clifford was trying to tell him. Like, you ain't really ready. You ain't ready for this. He was like, so do you, and I'm going to do me. And that's when Uncle Clifford saw something wasn't right. He saw Mercedes and was in there, and he was like, because, they were topless. And the rule that night was they weren't supposed to be topless because the sheriff was trying to get them. And so he, Uncle Clifford was like, now they know better. So he on the radio again. He calling for Diamond. He calling for Big L. Big L lied to him about something. He in the office. He was like, you ain't in the office because I'm in the office. Big L was like, okay, I'm office adjacent. He said, listen, I ain't got time for this shit. So he is gonna go handle it. No, I'm out of order. He still was trying to get Diamond to go handle it. Diamond thought he said he was, but then Diamond ended up getting sidetracked because this is how Diamond got sidetracked. So Keyshawn's boyfriend, he comes over to VIP to try to get her out of there because Uncle Clifford told Keyshawn, look, one of your regulars is looking for you, talking about her boyfriend. So Keyshawn, he comes over there to talk to Keyshawn, and Keyshawn was like, I'm busy. And he was like, Keyshawn, I need to talk to you. She was like, I said I'm busy. And she like really flexed on him. And I was like, girl, you know better. So she tried to play it all like that was one of her regulars that was doing too much. Mind you, the record exec still trying to talk to her, talking about he could be her manager, and he could do this for her, and he could do that for her, and there's so much he can do for her, and this, that, and the other. And ends up giving her his business card and everything like that. So Lil Murder's man, by this time Lil Murder was gone. Lil Murder's manager was like, listen, are you here to try to get with her, or you here to try to get with Lil Murder? Because if you ain't trying to sign Lil Murder and give him your full attention, then we don't have no business here. Because I'm not going to let him sign with somebody that don't have his best interest. And he rolled out on the record exec. And of course, the record exec was like, what you talking about? He was like, trap music, people like Lil Murder come a dime a dozen. Like, he ain't even the reason why I came. I came for her. So, Lil Murder not going to get that record deal. It don't look like, child. So, when Keyshawn comes up out of VIP, her boyfriend is like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with you? And she was like, look, I'm working. He was like, listen, let's go. She was like, I'm not ready to go. He said, we getting up out of here now. And she was like, well, I got money to make. Like, I got to get back on the floor. He was like, listen, let me tell you something. He said, if you don't come home with me now, you going to regret it. She was like, if I come home with you, am I going to regret it? He said, I'm going to go take a piss. And when I come back, you better be in that car. If not, it's going to be a problem. And I knew then, I said, Mercedes about to go get that damn gun. So she runs in the back to go get her stuff, right? Boyfriend is in the bathroom taking a piss. Who come rolling up in the bathroom? Diamond. Diamond was like, I don't appreciate how you was talking to Keyshawn. Boyfriend told him, that ain't your business. He said, everything that going with these girls in this club is my business. He said, listen, I don't even know why she like niggas like you. I see. So you already know what ended up happening then. Diamond commenced to whooping his ass, right? So they in the bathroom fighting. Now by this time, okay, I want to make sure I get this order right, y'all. It's a lot going on. So by this time, like I said, what was going on in the Paradise Room, Montavious ends up with the broken bottle up to Mercedes' neck, and he tells Autumn, Haley, go get my money. Because she was like, okay, don't hurt her, don't hurt her, don't hurt her. The money, I got the money, it's here in the club. He was like, I thought you said it was in the bank. She said, it's here in the club. He said, you got 5 minutes to go get that money, or you know what's about to happen. He was like, y'all will drown in her blood. And he was like, she said, well, don't hurt her, I'm on my way to go get it. So she runs out, she puts her clothes on, she runs out to go get the money. She goes to her locker, she's putting her clothes on, she took the stripper shoes off, she put her clothes on, she grabs the bag and she grabs the gun. She goes to grab the gun, guess what's missing? The gun. Why? Because Mississippi done took that gun. I guess Mississippi was going to take care of old boy, like, you won't whip my ass tonight, it won't be tonight. So, while she leaves to go do all of this, Montavious is in the Paradise Room with Mercedes. And he tells her, he was like, listen, he said, you really think she gonna come back for you? She was like, yeah, she gonna come back for me. He said, mm-mm. He said, if I know Haley's a runner. He said, she ain't coming back up in here, and I'm gonna have to do what I gotta do. And Mercedes like, you don't really want that money. Like you want to get her. You don't really want that money. He said, listen, that night that she ran off with my money the first time, she tried to kill me. She actually shot me. So yeah, we got a score to settle. Now while this is going on, they're showing Haley. Haley is leaving. Like when she couldn't find that gun, she was rolling out. She got in the car, was about to start up that engine, and she was about to roll out. But you know what? She couldn't do it. She ended up running back in the club, and that's when she went back to the Paradise Room. She gave him the duffel bag of the money, said, listen, here's the money, take it. So they're in there, so it's Haley in her regular clothes. Mercedes still got on her, her stripper gear and everything. And old boy is there. And that's what Uncle Clifford finally sees that on the screen. And he realizes, okay, so he gets on the radio and he's like, code red in the Paradise Room. But he picks up the gun out of that little container of weapons that Diamond had took earlier. And he goes busting up in the Paradise Room. So they are fighting over the gun. Well, in the bathroom, Diamond is still fighting Mississippi's boyfriend. And they end up with a gun. I guess Diamond had a gun. I don't know, child. Next thing you know, they come rolling out of the bathroom with the gun. Somebody yells gun. And y'all know what happens at the black club when somebody yells run. Everybody just go running for the door. Don't nobody look. Don't nobody ask no questions. You just go running for the door. So everybody is running out the club. You got Big L and Duffy out back with the drugs. And they see everybody running out the club. They're like, oh shit, what's going on? Mercedes sees everybody running out the club. She's like, oh my gosh, what's happening? They hear a gunshot. Oh Lord. So Mercedes goes running back in the club because somebody said something to make her, I guess somebody said the name and she realized what it was. So she goes running back in the club and Diamond and the boyfriend are rolling around beating each other's ass. And she pulls the gun out, the pink gun. She pulls the gun out on Diamond because by this time Diamond is over top of the boyfriend whooping his ass. And she tells Diamond, she's crying, and she was like, Diamond, stop. She said, get off of him. Get off of him. So while that's going on outside, inside the Paradise Room, you got Uncle Clifford, you got Mercedes, and you got Haley, them struggling with Montavious, because Uncle Clifford went in there with the gun, and they fighting over the gun. Bullets is flying. Diamond went running. When he heard the bullets flying, Diamond went running to go see what was going on, and his bullets coming all through the door and everything. Next thing you know, you heard 3 bullets. Next thing you saw blood running from under the door. So you don't know who died. You don't know who got shot. You don't know who died. You don't know nothing, right? Next thing you know, we see Loretta Devine listening to the radio about the pink and how violence erupted on the last night of the pink and how the pink is getting ready to go up for auction. So Loretta Devine is sitting there crying and she got on black. Uncle Clifford come out in black. And so, of course, at first you're thinking, she said, come on, let's get to this funeral. And I said, well, okay, well, somebody done died. And then about halfway through, I said, they talking about the funeral for the pink child. Loretta Devine she gonna steal the keys from Uncle Clifford and try to drive. He said, come on here. She said, I know how to get to the courthouse. That's when I realized it wasn't a real funeral, that they was going to the auction for the pink. He said, if you don't get your ass in here, you're not driving nowhere. So they get down to the courthouse. All the girls, all the dancers are in black, honey, for this auction. Mercedes looking rough. I mean, looking rough. She's sitting out in front of her mama church, crying. Her mother walks up and she was like, you said that, God forgives all. Her mother told her, yeah, I did. But you better talk to God about that yourself because remember, I'm dead to you. And she was like, Mama, no, please, Mama, no, honey. Patrice took her happy ass at her new church that she stole from her daughter and locked the door, honey. Now, I'll be honest with you. I was shocked that Mercedes even went to her mama, but okay. But she didn't get what she wanted from her mama, poor thing. And she was looking rough. Poor Mercedes. She was looking bad, child. So then we are at the auction for the pink. I keep wanting to say Uncle Daddy. That's Claus' child. We got God Daddy. He gonna roll up on Loretta Devine talking about something. I'm so sorry, Ernestine. I'm so sorry about this. She said, fuck you. But you could tell they know each other, right? That damn Loretta Devine. So then Andre is there with his wife because she wanted to come to the auction, honey. and they get the auctioning off the pink. And of course, they do start at the 55,000. They started at 55,000, and he get the he's bidding, and his wife was like, "Ain't nobody even bidding against you," because he's trying to run it up to try to hopefully get Uncle Clifford something, right? Because of course they're gonna pay the debt first, but hopefully get him a little something after the debt gets paid off. Honey, now mind you, all the girls got on black. Honey, who's standing in the back in this nice white ass, badass white suit and her shades on, bidding on the paint? Miss Autumn / Haley. So it's safe to assume Montavious is the one that died, child. So she ends up bidding, running it all the way up to 250,000, and Andre is not authorized to spend more than 200,000 on the paint. So he's on the phone trying to call his boss so he can see if he can go above 200,000. And the boss picks up the phone, and he sort of he doesn't respond. He don't say nothing. He lets Haley get the paint. And next thing you know, we see them all down to the pink. We have Uncle Clifford cleaning up the glass. We got Haley at the bar. Listen, why Loretta Devine said 250,000? That's more than my coochie cost. I said, somebody get Loretta Devine. Okay. So then she won't take a drink because she ain't drinking. While Loretta Devine calling her a hoe, Uncle Clifford said, "Grandma, you can't call her a hoe." She said, "What's your name, hoe?" She said, "Haley." She said, "I was close." So Uncle Clifford says to her, she said, "Why?" He said, "Why'd you do it? Why'd you come back?" She said, "I figured I owed you one." So that tells me that Uncle Clifford was the one that shot Montavious. She said, "And now you owe me, partner." So they're partners now. So Mercedes comes in there crying, looking all upset, looking rough. Mercedes was like, "Last night," Loretta Devine cut her off. She said, "Last night was gone, is gone. Today is a new day. And we're going to move forward." Basically, like, don't speak on it. Don't talk about it. We not going there. So she looks at Uncle Clifford. She was like, "Is it done?" He was like, "It's done." So I guess Montavious' body is never to be found. But Montavious said when him and Haley was in that back and he told her to go get that money, he said, "Don't think I don't have people watching you." So it seems, we're going into season 2, and a lot of stuff is we're going to find out about in season 2. But it seems to me like, this ain't over. Somebody going to come looking for Montavious. But anyway, so that's kind of where it ended, honey. Listen, the Pink P-Valley gave me everything I needed for this whole 8 episodes. I really hope that for season 2, we get more than 8 episodes, because they gave me what I was looking for. I don't know. I was here for it. Now, the only thing I don't know is what the hell happened to Mercedes? I don't remember seeing Mercedes at the auction, and we never saw anything more with Mercedes and the boyfriend after Diamond went running off to try to save Uncle Clifford. Now, maybe I missed it. Maybe they was there and I don't remember. I don't know. But anyway, other than that, y'all, that's where we are. Let me know what y'all think. Drop it in those comments. Peace.